I'll go ahead and come over here. As the,
Hello.
not Howard Cosell, but, I'm trying to think who that speaker was. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Johnny Carson.
Yeah, that could be
Madden.
one. All right, we've got all three stooges here, live in the house.
In the flesh.
In the downstairs art gallery and the coffee shop at Reverie. Mainly just wanted to do a very quick update since I rarely can get all of us together in the same room. And I'm trying to, Brian's all game for doing his own videos as he's getting the RV thing set up. Scott, if I can get him to actually do it, to make videos hopefully in his quest to go to the Philippines. Again, just a very quick summary. I'm trying to do off-grid, 45, one more year in the sun, and then hopefully out of the corporate life. Brian, and I've already been in the biggest company in the world for over 20 years. Brian's been at the same company for, is it 40 years?
Almost 28 years.
28.
28 years at the mothership, yes.
And he has no interest in leaving or going off-grid. And then Scott, the baby, he would be Curly through the Three Stooges. I'd be Mo, Brian would be Larry, it makes sense. Scott might be Shun, but anyway. Scott, 55, he'll be 56, school teacher, so more of a vocation, I would say personally, than Brian and me. But he's also wanting out of the Matrix. Is a little bit different, off-grid, figuring out something.
Downsize for me. Downsize, not off the grid, like you said, absolutely not off the grid. I want to be on the grid. Plug me into the Matrix. But I will downsize to an RV life, get rid of most of my stuff, living out literally in the woods. But I will still have electricity. I will still have water. I will still have internet, the basic necessities. I will actually have a storage building that will have a washer and dryer inside of it. But still, it's going to be an interesting process, and I actually have some videos coming soon. I am going to be able to, unfortunately, he did not do this when he built the compound, but I will show step by step the location. It's an old RV that I'm taking over that I'm going to have some work done on it and fixed up. So mine's going to be a process over the next few months. But we will do step by step of that process, set process.
And then as we reiterated before, Scott's is living in a nice house. He's going to sell it to fund his trip. Brian, again, this is just real life. Scott's had a couple of kids, at least. No, I'm kidding. Scott's had a couple of kids. The oldest one, or the youngest one, just now out of school. He's trying to get him out of the nest. He's using his house to kind of help fund this with his mom, which we'll get into in a minute. Brian, it's facts of life. His kid's in college, just like everything. You know, life's thrown some curveballs. Mine, I'm actually trying to, I made one video before on like taking both pills, and that was trying to keep the house in the city, but also having the off-the-grid thing. So trying to kind of like straddle two different lifestyles, I guess you'd say. So anyway, case in point, hopefully 80% of everybody falls into this camp if they want to leave the Matrix, which I know 95% do not want to leave the Matrix. They want rinse, repeat, get a bigger house, then when they get that house, get a bigger house, always live for the future. So real quick update, and yes, Brian's 100% right. I wish I would have shown step by step. I think it's going to be really cool to show, like, hopefully what I'm envisioning is an old school, needs to be leveled, needs to be brush hogged or mowed, and then that part gets done. Oh, finally. Then there becomes a building there. Okay, where's the house? Well, that's coming later. Electric gets plugged in, okay? There's a fence there now. Now there's an RV. Now there's, well, the RV's not perfect, so it's kind of like stages. But then, no rent, no anything. Same thing with Scott's. But Scott, if you want to give us an update, since last we talked, you now have a house paid for a year in the Philippines?
It's not paid for, but a contract, a monthly contract that's already been signed. That when my wife was there visiting, she signed a contract for a year, and the rent comes due there in June. So the clock's ticking on, getting over there as soon as possible.
Have you sold your house yet?
No, not even close. Still getting it ready. I'm still getting things worked in order. painting, fixing up, getting it ready to be sold, either put on the market or hopefully a private buyer. I did have a curveball recently, so regarding this though, just not to get into the details, but I have to have a biopsy on my prostate to make sure I don't have cancer because there's some concerns there. But just to be frank, even if the worst scenario happens, I'm still going, no matter what. In fact, in some ways, I want to go even more. But hopefully to God that I don't have it, and I can go along with, selling it and moving everyone over there, including my mother, who was baptized a few weeks ago for the first time, which was fantastic. And that was an ordeal, but it was fantastic because she's hard for her to get around. We had to lift her in, 4 guys of us had to lift her in a chair into the pool of water. And she was a real trooper, which was fantastic. And she wants to go to the Philippines too, very badly. She wants to, before she dies, she wants to have, see an adventure, something new. Her family over there are very caring, so she's looking forward to that. And all speed ahead, just praying that everything works out great. There's always going to be some curveballs or some challenges, like driving the dogs from Northwest Arkansas to LA, because it's very difficult domestically to be 3 giant dogs. Well, one's a standard poodle and 2 of them are Labradoodles, so it's going to be very interesting. So I already have some people that are willing to drive a giant van, either, with the dogs in the vehicle to LA, and then from there getting a hotel and then taking off to LA, and still have to do all the paperwork for that. So there's lots and lots of items that need to be checked off before I can take off.
And with that, awesome mom, 85?
85.
85.
Wow.
Not the greatest health. Praise the Lord, baptized. And again, somebody could easily say, well, James, I'm just a school teacher. I'm not a couple of corporate guys like you and Brian. Okay, he's a school teacher. Well, I've got my mom to worry about. He's got his mom to worry about. Well, I've got, if you want to leave the matrix, to me, there's no excuse. I mean, the fact that Scott's like, having to get his prostate checked out. Again, less than a year ago, everything was fine. So, good news, like I was telling him, everything, it's the most treatable cancer, worst case scenario. Definitely keep in thoughts and prayers. But, what's the option? Well, I guess worst case scenario, I better just stay here and I'll just keep going to doctors for the rest of my life. That's life? No. So, full speed ahead, and what I'm hopefully envisioning is him documenting this. I told him before, I said, he switched into overdrive, so I don't picture this going perfect, because basically perfect would be, correct me if I'm wrong, mom's awesome, she's like, Scott, I'm not going to be any trouble. She's got a heavy German accent, so I won't try to duplicate it. And then she goes to the Philippines. He didn't want to leave her here, and then, oh, good luck in the nursing home. So she's going with him. She's going to help pay part of that, but still pay a lot less for much better care in the Philippines. And everything goes perfect. They get the house. They sell this house for what they're wanting. All this happens in the next 3 months. And then, like, you're going to see a video with Scott, like, driving, and he's going to be loading up Mama. She cusses like a sailor. And then hopefully you'll see her sedated for the plane. I'm kidding. And then they get to the Philippines, they're in the house, and then it says, guys, I made it. Here's what did work, here's what didn't work. And then you'll start seeing videos from the Philippines. Maybe at some point, Brian doesn't like flying, so maybe he'll take a boat over there or something. And otherwise, hopefully I can make a trip over there. You'll hopefully see between now and next May, hopefully, if our wonderful politicians don't wreck the economy, everything goes smoothly. And also in that, to Brian's point, be able to see a steady, here's the RV thing, hey, it's not perfect, oh, this RV's not big enough, dude, deal with it. You're gonna be saving like $2,000 a month. Once you get past this year, again, people are like, well, we got kids in college, and so do they. So yeah, there's not, I don't see any excuse if a person wants out of the matrix, get out of the matrix. But, what's your update on the RV? I know you've got,
The RV update is basically this, yeah. So, I have kind of been giving a older RV, needs a lot of work. It's actually been, like I said, you'll be seeing a video of that pretty soon as well. So I'm gonna hopefully have somebody come out and assess it, make sure it is a viable fix to do. If that works out like I want to, I'll take it to the shop. It'll probably take about a month to get it fixed. But once it comes back, everything should be up and running. So that's kind of my place right now. And the only hold up on even building the building right now is trying to figure out loan things, how I want to go with the process. That's boring technical stuff. But the land is still in good shape. It just needs some weeds cut. I've already been out there and sprayed for the ticks and things like that. And one thing you should always grow in Arkansas is rocks. So I've literally picked up 40 or 50 big rocks that just magically come up out of the ground. Everybody deals with that in our area. That's very common. Another thing though, before he bolts off to the islands, and I think we'll do a video on it as well. And when we do it, we're definitely probably going to take a small trip. One more hurrah, where we're also in the country. And I think that'll be a fun video to do as we go along that trip as well. So kind of trips we've done similar before, but this will involve wine and a train. So a good combination there. So
lots of wine.
And some good German food.
The old one doesn't flake out on us.
Yes. I think we'll get him talking into it. Once they say it's only 3 nights, that's
The old one.
doable for him. So it is funny we have 45, 50, and 55 here all at the same time. So it's quite a little diverse. So
Yeah.
but that's it on the
And
more to come on the RV.
Brian in the RV, picture Clark Griswold, Christmas vacation, getting lights on his house. That's kind of what I'm picturing. I've already told him
I'm not putting a couch in front of my.
he's going to do the couch.
That'd be awesome.
He already has 2 dogs.
Yeah,
I'm going to get him a pack of, hams, whatever you like.
PBR.
PBR,
So
yeah.
just be able to sit on the couch, wave at the traffic when they drive by. He's got a hot tub out there, so I think it's all
Oh yeah, that's
coming
even
together
better.
really well.
That's awesome.
One of the true bonuses of this fact is that you can't see my place from the road, thank God.
Yeah.
At least in the winter time or the summertime.
Yeah, they don't want to see it either. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a little more doable like that. So, and it's funny. I also have a new adventure in relationship world. So we'll talk more about
yeah.
that. More about that kind of on that later on. So I'm the bachelor of the group. So
Yeah.
which is kind of funny. As
Don
well.
Juan.
Don Juan, yep.
Well, and also keep in mind, and we'll kind of end there. If everything gets done, Scott has, I'm very unfiltered. I've done the same thing before. I got way too much debt back in the day. Scott has got way too much debt.
Yeah.
But Lord willing, he sells the house, pays it all off as a clean slate. Again, Brian, because rent around here is not getting any cheaper. The fact that upfront cost, yeah, it's going to be a little bit, but if he gets a year from now and everything works out halfway accordingly, literally is going to be saving ballpark $25,000 a year.
Jeez.
Now that is,
That's a lot of money.
let's just say he
That's a lot of money.
literally pardon my language, balls to the walls, all paid trip to Europe, is roughly speaking about $5,000 to $6,000, and I'm talking a good one. You can get one a lot cheaper than that.
But like a fantastic one, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because when
You're doing that right.
last 2 we went, it was probably $2,500 each, but I'm talking everything, top of the top, like for almost a month. Roughly speaking, is $5,000 or $6,000. Let's say the $25,000, him and his new chick, let's say he goes to that trip once a year, he's still going to have $12,500 left over. So for people saying, oh, forget that RV thing, that's not for me. Oh, that off-the-grid thing in the Philippines, you guys, you peasants. Well, the fact that we're actually going to be able to live life, oh my gosh, give me that any day versus a 5,000 square foot house that I'm entrapped in. But anyway, I will leave it at that. Any parting words?
Nope, that's it for now. More
You
to
guys want to
come.
cover anything?
Brother's got a hug.
All right, well,
All right.
keep tuned and subscribe. We're going to be rich on this
Right.
thing, I think. We're going to be the next Joe Rogan.
All right.